My name's Lois Carter, 33, a single mom with an extraordinary 8-year-old daughter, Zoe. We live in a snug little apartment. Not much to brag about, but it's home. I gave up college when I found out I was pregnant. Not my proudest moment, sure, but I'd do it all over again in a heartbeat for Zoe. She's my world. I work as a waitress at a diner downtown. The hours are long, the tips inconsistent, but it keeps the lights on and food in the fridge. Plus, my boss is pretty understanding when Zoe's school commitments need me to switch shifts. And speaking of school, my girl is a force to be reckoned with. Zoe's the kind of kid who soaks up knowledge like a sponge. Her teachers constantly rave about her talent in science and math. Just last week, she burst through the door, thrilled about an experiment they'd done with baking soda and vinegar. "Mom, did you know that when you mix baking soda and vinegar, it makes carbon dioxide? That's what makes the volcano explode," she gushed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. I couldn't help but laugh. Looks like I've got a future scientist on my hands. But life's no fairy tale. Looming over everything is Regina Blackwood, my ex-mother-in-law. Picture the most judgmental, snobby person you can think of, and then multiply it by 10. That's Regina. She's rich, lives in a sprawling mansion, and never misses an opportunity to remind me that she used to be some big-shot university professor. "Lois, dear," she'll say with her signature fake smile, "don't you think it's time you went back to school? A waitress's salary hardly provides for a growing child." Every word drips with condescension. I bite my tongue and respond, "We're doing just fine, Regina, but thanks for your concern." Thankfully, I've got my own cheerleaders. My best friend Alexis is my rock. Whether it's lending me an ear after a Regina showdown or showing up with a bottle of wine, she's always in my corner. "Girl, Regina's just bitter because you and Zoe are incredible," she'll say with a smirk. And then there's Mr. Chen, our retired teacher neighbor who's become Zoe's unofficial tutor. When I'm working late, he helps her with her homework, often singing her praises. "Miss Carter," he said one day, beaming, "your daughter grasped long division faster than some of my high school students." "Thank you, Mr. Chen," I replied, my heart swelling with pride. "I don't know what we'd do without you." But today wasn't about allies. It was about braving the lion's den, Regina's mansion. The drive there felt endless, the weight of what lay ahead pressing down on me. Zoe sat in the backseat, flipping through her science textbook. "You ready for this, sweetie?" I asked, catching her eye in the rearview mirror. She shrugged. "I guess. Do you think Grandma will like my science project?" I forced a smile. I'm sure she'll be impressed. Pulling up to Regina's ostentatious estate, I swallowed a lump of resentment. Her world was gilded, so far removed from our modest apartment. "Lois, darling, late as usual," Regina called out as we stepped through the grand doors, her voice laced with syrupy disdain. "Traffic," I muttered, ushering Zoe inside. The gathering was already in full swing, high society types mingling with family members. My eyes landed on Tyler, my ex, chatting with some cousins. He glanced at me and offered a weak nod. "Grandma, I got an A on my science project." Zoe's voice was bright, but Regina's smile was ice cold. "Did you now?" "How surprising." I felt my jaw clench. Zoe's been working really hard. Mr. Chen's been helping her study. "Ah, yes, the neighbor," Regina said with a dismissive wave. "Well, even a broken clock is right twice a day." The room quieted. Eyes turned toward us, and I felt the heat rising in my cheeks. "What's that supposed to mean?" I asked, my voice low. Regina didn't miss a beat. "Oh, nothing, dear. It's just, well, given your limited educational background, it's rather surprising that Zoe would excel so dramatically in academics." The silence in the room was deafening. My face burned with humiliation and fury. "Excuse me?" I managed, my voice tight. Regina shrugged, her lips curving into a smug smile. "Let's be honest, Lois. You're a college dropout working as a waitress. It's hardly the environment to foster academic excellence. One has to wonder if, perhaps there's been some assistance beyond mere studying." I froze, stunned. "Are you accusing my daughter of cheating?" Regina's expression didn't waver. "I'm simply saying it's unlikely for a child of your background to suddenly become a prodigy." I was shaking with rage. "How dare you? Zoe is brilliant and hardworking. Just because I didn't finish college doesn't mean I can't raise an intelligent child." "Mom?" Zoe's small voice broke through my fury. She stood beside me, her wide, tear-filled eyes searching my face. Am I stupid? My heart shattered. I knelt down, pulling her into a tight hug. No, baby, no. You're smart and amazing. Don't listen to her. I glanced around, searching for Tyler. Surely he'd say something to defend his daughter, but he just stood there, hands in his pockets, avoiding my gaze. I straightened, locking eyes with Regina. This is unacceptable. You can insult me all you want, but don't you dare attack my daughter's intelligence or integrity. Regina raised an eyebrow, unbothered. Perhaps if you'd finish your education, you'd understand the statistical improbability off. That's enough, I snapped, cutting her off. Come on, Zoe, we're leaving. As we walked to the door, Regina's voice followed us like a sneer. Running away won't change the facts, Lois. Some of us are simply meant for greater things. In the car, Zoe sat quietly, sniffling now and then. You know Grandma's wrong, right? I said softly. You're incredibly smart, and I'm so proud of you. Then why did she say those things? She asked, her voice trembling. I sighed, gripping the steering wheel tighter. Some people can't see past their own prejudices, but we'll prove her wrong, okay? Over the next year, I poured everything into proving Regina wrong, not for her, but for me and Zoe. Between double shifts at the diner, late-night study sessions, and stolen moments with my daughter, I worked toward my secret goal, earning my degree in computer science. One evening, Alexis showed up with takeout, eyeing the mess of textbooks and papers strewn across my kitchen table. Girl, you look like you haven't slept in days. Feels that way, I said, rubbing my eyes. But I'm so close, Lex, I can taste it. I still can't believe you haven't told Regina or Tyler, she said, smirking. I wish I could have seen her face when she mocked your limited education. I can't wait for her to eat her words. I chuckled. It's going to be epic, but I don't want to tell Zoe yet, not until it's done. I don't want her to get her hopes up in case something goes wrong. As the science fair approached, Zoe became more anxious. One night, I found her crying over her project notes. Hey, sweetie, what's wrong? I asked, sitting beside her. Grandma called again, Zoe whispered, her lip trembling. She said I shouldn't get my hopes up about winning. That it'll be embarrassing when I lose. My blood boiled. I cupped her chin gently, forcing her to meet my eyes. Zoe, listen to me. Your grandmother is wrong. You're brilliant and this project is amazing. Don't let her or anyone else tell you otherwise. The next day, I received an unexpected call from Mrs. Peterson, the school administrator. Her voice was low, hesitant. Mrs. Carter, I thought you should know. Mrs. Blackwood came by the school yesterday. She tried to bribe Mr. Johnson to lower Zoe's grades. I nearly dropped the phone. She did what? Mr. Johnson refused, of course. I thanked Mrs. Peterson, my mind racing. This was a new low, even for Regina. Over the next few days, I quietly collected evidence of her sabotage. Emails, recorded phone calls, witness statements. Each piece of proof was tucked away carefully, a shield for Zoe if I ever needed it. Finally, the day of the science fair arrived. Zoe's project, a stunning model on renewable energy showcasing solar panels, wind turbines, and a miniature hydroelectric dam, stood proudly among the other displays. She had poured her heart into it, and I couldn't have been prouder. When the judge announced, and the first place goes to Zoe Carter, the auditorium erupted in applause. Zoe's face lit up as she stepped forward to accept her ribbon, her smile radiant. My heart swelled with pride, and tears stemmed my eyes. But the celebration was short-lived. This is preposterous. Regina's sharp voice sliced through the cheers like a knife. There's no way she could have done this on her own. She must have cheated. The room fell silent. Zoe's smile faltered, and I saw her clutch the ribbon tighter, her hands trembling. Tears welled in her wide, innocent eyes, and my blood boiled. How dare you? I hissed, turning to face Regina. Your own granddaughter wins, and this is how you react. Regina's face was red with indignation. Oh, please. We all know this is beyond her capabilities, and yours. For that matter, who really did this project? That meddling neighbor of yours? I took a deep breath, forcing myself to stay calm. Regina, Zoe worked tirelessly on this project with guidance from Mr. Chen and me. Just because you refuse to believe in her abilities doesn't make them any less real. I demand an investigation. Regina snapped, looking around for support. But instead of backing her, the other parents and teachers were inching away, exchanging uncomfortable glances. That's enough, I said firmly, locking eyes with her. Regina, we need to talk. Now. I led her to a quiet corner of the school, my mind made up. Enough was enough. It was time to put her in her place for Zoe's sake and my own. I've had enough of your games, I began, pulling a folder from my bag. Inside was everything. Evidence of her sabotage attempts, including her bribe to Mr. Johnson. Regina's smug expression faltered. What is this? She stammered. Oh, just proof of you trying to undermine your granddaughter, I said coolly. And that's not all. From another pocket, I pulled out my diploma. I've been working toward this in secret, studying online, juggling jobs, and raising Zoe. I graduated last month with a degree in computer science. Regina's jaw dropped. That's impossible. Oh, it's very possible, I replied, feeling a surge of triumph. Just then, Tyler approached, concern etched on his face. What's going on? He asked. I didn't hesitate. I laid it all out. My studies, Regina's actions, and the lengths she had gone to sabotage her own granddaughter. Tyler's face paled as I spoke. Mom, how could you? He whispered, his voice thick with disbelief. Regina sputtered, searching for a defense, but there was none. Meanwhile, whispers spread among the other parents, and the carefully constructed facade Regina had maintained began to crumble. And one more thing, I added, my voice steady. I've been offered a position at Tech Innovate, a senior role with a salary that'll give Zoe and me a fresh start. We're leaving this behind. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind. Zoe and I moved into a beautiful new home, leaving behind the cramped apartment that had seen so many struggles. Regina faced social isolation as word of her actions spread. Her high society friends distanced themselves, and her influence waned. As for Tyler, he started therapy and reached out, wanting to rebuild his relationship with Zoe and me. I'm sorry, he said during one visit. I should have stood up to her years ago. I nodded but kept my distance. You should have. Let's take it slow for Zoe's sake. That summer, we hosted a housewarming party. Alexis helped decorate with colorful streamers and fairy lights while Mr. Chen brought his famous dumplings. Zoe buzzed with excitement, showing off her room and the garden she'd already started planting. To new beginnings. Alexis toasted, raising her glass as everyone cheered. Zoe hugged me tightly, her eyes shining with pride. Mom, you're my hero. I hugged her back, tears threatening to spill. No, Zoe. You're mine.